Hello, farmers. Farmer Rever. And if you've noticed, you'd probably tell from the title too, we've made a little bit of a change. As I played that map, which was very good looking to start out, I really was becoming less and less impressed. And I started to make, I think it was what, episode 5, which I think I'm going to call this one episode 1, which you probably already know whether I did or not. And yeah, we're just, it was just that there really wasn't much to do, and it was part of my intention for my normal viewers to see the beauty and some of the things you could do in Farming Simulator. And that map was very plain, and I found myself complaining about it more than I like to, because mod makers, they really go through a lot of work, and even if their mods don't end up great, why complain about them? What they're doing is they're doing for free, and it's really not fair. But if you don't want a map with a lot of stuff on it, that's probably the map for you. But if you look around, we have a new farm here, and let's hit escape for a second. And if we zoom out, well, let's zoom in, and you can see on this map we have many different things. If we that we could deposit, we actually have like a silo here, and then we have other storages for like compost or not compost, manure and slurry and other things. And then you can see, like, not too far from our farm, we have pigs set up and cattle and horses, and we have a grass field right here that we can get out there to harvest, and we have a grain mill right there that we can sell stuff. And if we zoom out, I'm not the biggest fan of like all square fields necessarily, but it's nice. It's a little easier. But then we have a bunch of other sales points up here, manure sales, spinnery, kind of everything you need. And this map's by a man named Stevie. I'm assuming he's a man. Even though I guess nowadays you shouldn't assume those things. I'm going to still assume, and I'm an old guy. I'm allowed to still assume that if your name's Stevie that you're a male. In any event, so we have, silage kings. I'm imagine that's a BGA up there, and diesel. I guess we can make diesel fuel. Sounds pretty cool. But in the meantime, we could just get back to farming and doing some things. So now what I did, just to give you an idea too, if we come back out here and we go to P, and then we'll go into the garage, I actually took almost all of our equipment. Now, I did keep, because we have so many bigger fields, I did keep a bigger tractor, but this is the tractor that we owned before on the last place, or at least the same model, of course. There's our auto load trailer. I went back and got us the same combine that we had before. We've got the same agro liner. There's our headers. I did get a bigger plow to plow the fields with, and that's the main reason that I kept this bigger tractor. But then if you look, and that same thing with this seeder here. Now, there was other equipment came with this map. I sold the rest of it off, but I did keep those 3 things. And just for the sake of getting seeding done a little bit, we can seed and fertilize with this. Now, I don't have a corn planter at all, so we'll have to deal with that at some point. But we got our same sprayer back, our same lime spreader. We've got our John Deere mowers back, and then this different tedding and windrowing equipment, our baler, front bucket, and then there's our roller. And then all of this stuff is added to the map. They're like placeables that Stevie placed down. You can see a lot of these are by him. So, yeah, so hopefully we'll enjoy this map a little bit more, right? Just because there's a lot more to do. So let me get back out of here. We'll take a real quick, brief look. If you look, we've got many more sheds on this one. And I like these narrow sheds because you end up with a lot of this equipment that you don't need a big long shed for. And over here, I just started putting a few things. I'll get more organized, but we got nice big storage areas for all that stuff here. Let me put 9 on so you guys get a little idea which way I'm facing. And then over this way is where there's like storage. We got our own silos, so we can make some silage right here. And we got manure and slurry storage. We'll check out more of that stuff. It's been a while since I played, but what is this? So we got some other kind of yard right here. Oh, is that sheep maybe? Let's look here and see. Yeah, I don't see a symbol, but this is some kind of a yard. Oh, yeah, that is sheep. Symbol's just right over here somewhere. Okay, so this is a sheep yard right there. Nice. And then if we look over this way somewhere, I guess it's beyond those trees. Let's see, can we zoom through them a little bit? No, that's a... Down here, it looks like, okay, down the little dirt path. By the way, this map is relatively new, so it's just been put out, so hopefully things will all work. But there we go. So we got pigs over here, I think, and that's cattle over there. Not too far from our main base down the path. But Stevie, I have played his maps in the past, and he spends a lot of time working out the details. He's definitely a good map maker as far as that goes. I mean, I think there's guys that put even more time than he does, but in the past maps that I've played, the things he does put in there do tend to work. And with the other map, the biggest thing that had me going was that wet corn. So I went to go harvest our wet corn, and yeah, it just didn't work out. It just the dryer wouldn't work, and we don't have wet corn on this map, which is a little bit of a, I mean, it would be better, I guess, if we did, but at the same time, if things don't work, it really gets to irritating me personally. Oh, I did want to show you the color up, like the little details Stevie works out usually real well. So this is a diesel station, so we could refuel right there. I didn't have to put that in like I did on the other map. And then here, this should be a repair place, so we can come up and repair the tractors. So that's pretty nice. So we'll do more touring of the map as we have excuses and reason to. Now, if you notice, I just brought our money back to 9,000, and then after I got all this set up and got the vehicles in here and all of that, I realized, let's hit escape again. If we come over to here, we do have stuff in the silos, so we're going to have a little bit of extra money that we wouldn't have otherwise. If we come over here, it looks like usually when you see things like this herbicide here, there may be a way of making herbicide. This makes me think of hamburgers, but it's some kind of thing we can do with manure sales. So we'll have to figure out what that is. I imagine that's slurry and that's manure. So there's something here that's, I don't know what that is right off the top of my, and fertilizer. Now this could just be because we have a storage, so maybe there's not a way. That could just be the storage itself, diesel fuel. So I'm kind of curious to see if we can make diesel, since we have a diesel sale point. And then what else do we have? That's compost, or is that? No. That's, I'm forgetting right now. One of these is silage, and one of them is going to be, those things. So this must be silage. I'm forgetting. Forgive me. There's sugar cane and just the regular crops in general. Those we can figure out by looking over here, generally speaking, some of those things. But we have another little bit of an urgency, and I'm going to probably work on this mostly off camera just to get these things done, but we'll get started together. So if we come up, one nice thing is the grass fields, by the way, you really don't end up plowing them very much. If we go back and turn on the grass, you can see that's all grass right there. So we can harvest that field to get hay in, and then let's jump over. So the fields are like ready to go. But they're really ready to go, right? This is, not the darkest orange, the middle orange on our grass, which we can let that grow one more time. We'll get more harvest, but more concerning is these different fields here are all on the darkest orange. So let's come out here real quick and go. Let me turn on F1. Left control. No. Left shift Z. So we have 6.5 hours at least for all of those crops, but we might run out of time if we don't get out there and get them done. So what do we have? That looks like wheat, probably barley, canola. Yeah. And then what is this one? Soybeans. Yep. Good. See, I'm not colorblind. And then we'll have to get out there and get the grass. So let's go find a tractor. Let's turn this back off. Find a combine over here. And can I hook this guy up from in here? I think I can. I don't think we need to pull it out there with the... Can I get past this tractor? Yes. Right down over here. Yeah, it's not too big a field. I think we can get these done. Yeah, then I'm definitely going to want to make these bigger, huh? So what I will probably do is try to see if I can't get this done myself. So let's X, right? And then G. Once that's unfolded, we should be able to turn it on. Now if we hit, let's do G again. I like to lower that thing. No, it's not telling me. Honk, I don't want to honk. Yeah, there we go. Lower that, makes it look a little bit better. I think that's how it would normally be, right? And you adjust the height depending on the height of your crop. And then let's see, if we hit control, do we have GPS? This might be still a problem. Oop, that's the wrong one. Let's hit. Yeah, you know what? Let's turn this guy off for a second. We might be getting rid of this if this keeps happening. Because what I'm thinking of is that there's some option on this thing to, quote, have GPS, and that it forgets that you have GPS. All right, so let's spin around here real quick. And I wanted to point out, I do have a mod as well. All right, so let's customize this guy. Yeah, see, we have it. Yeah, so if we... Alright, so now let's do this again. Alright, didn't cost us anything to do that. Now let's... Oh, by the way, the mod... Let me open this again. If I hit tab, it'll tab to whatever vehicles are in the box, which that probably just fell out of the box. Let's see, can we get this... And I should be able to hit... There we go. So now I can get to the Control S, do auto width. Alright, and then I do want to check to make sure that my width is the right one. And yeah, so we're going to do track name. I think it's just going to be... Which way am I facing? Yeah, we're going to do is track name north-south, but let's do this real quick. Garage... And 7.6 meters. There's no way I'm going to know what 7.6 meters is. 24.93. So let's go back here. Now the problem's going to be when I come back into here. Yep. So that's good. And then no offset, of course. I don't know what the height thing is. All right. So we're going to do. Oops. North dash south. Right. And then let's come to something that's very much north-south, like the road here. Okay, and then I'm going to turn that steering wheel. If you look right above our speedometer, just try to get that as close as I can to the 0. There we go. All right, I'm going to hit Alt E, Alt E, Alt C, Control S. What's going on now? Now I can't get to it again. Yeah, that's just changing my view. Alt C. Yeah, I'm thinking I need to go trade this in. Well, let's go do that right now. I could worry about the other header. Yeah. We'll worry about the other header later. But if this is going to keep happening, I don't know of any reason. I looked in the error codes. I didn't see any particular error. But this one, if I looked at the tractor that we had in the last map, there was a, what do you call it? There was an error on, not an error, there was like GPS ID 1, and then this one had like 2 GPS IDs. So I'm kind of wondering if, you know, if that wasn't part of the problem, is that this had the 2 GPS IDs, and it's just getting confused because this has some kind of a in-game thing, or not in-game, but now the sell point should be the same as this. Let's see. Not sure how we get into this, but I'm assuming this will be. Oh, there we go. Yep. So let's sell it. Yes. Okay. All right, and then let's sell this. All right, and then let's hit P, and let's look for a harvester that's kind of similar, right? So this held, plus we got to be able to afford whatever said harvester, which you might have to borrow some money. I don't necessarily want to go too much smaller, but obviously we need the money, but we'll see. So this guy held 10,000, and it was 384. So this is really very similar. All right, let's see, what else do we have? We have this John Deere. That seems like a whole bigger thing. Yeah, let's go ahead and buy this. GPS, yes. I don't know if we got money for our GPS. Wheel setup standards, fine. Okay, so we only have $8,000 left. Let's go back. Now this guy, Rostelmash, needs the DS900. So I think we could use the same corn header unless we decide to upgrade it. But let's go see what a DS900 looks like. DS900, right? 58,000. Let's go back. All right. And then we need to make sure we have 58,000. Plus we'll go a little bit more or less, you know, so we have a few bucks left. All right. And then, oh, you know what? No, never mind. We had no loan until I just borrowed 68,000. I forgot to check if we had a loan, like as a starting thing for the game. But in any event, we don't. So, headers. So let's go. All right, no options. Good. I like the ones that have their own trailer built in. That's kind of cool. Didn't really put this in the world's greatest spot, did it? But we managed. All right, I'm going to cut the video just for a second so that I can get down there and we'll get reset up, and that, you know, it'll take a minute or two to get down there. I just dropped off the header, and I got the steering wheel facing 0, but if you notice on our little thing there, we get an Alt-C, right? And then I can hit that, and then I can hit this. Now, we don't have a thing, so we have north-south, right? And then we don't have a header on there yet, so I'm not going to do any auto with. I just want to show you that. So now we should be able to hit Alt-E twice, all right? And then hopefully keep that right on 0. I'm hoping this is particularly a smooth, flat area. All right, that should be good. Very careful. Alt-E. All right, now I'm going to hit Control-S, and then I want to show the lines, right? I probably could have done that first. And there we go. So now let's go back, and as far as auto loading goes, I don't know that we need to do that, but I definitely want to remember to save that before we get too far ahead of ourselves. I think this should be a pretty comparable thing without any game bugs. It's a shame we can't have John Deere, but and maybe we could have had another one, but I didn't want to. I do want to keep it challenging to start. where I upgrade equipment as part of the challenge. So we can fold this guy up. All right, so the wheels get tucked in there. And then we should be able to do Alt-S, auto width, 29.53. So what is this, slightly wider than the other one was? I'm sorry, slightly wider than the other one was? The garage. Just like to double check this before I go. Yeah, so we got 9 meters. 29.53 would be definitely in the ballpark. All right, so let's... by the way, you definitely want to set your width before you set yourself up on the corner of the field here. Let's get this guy unfolding while we're heading over there. All right, so we'll eyeball this up and oh, I got it right the first time. Alt page down. Right, and then Y. I was right on it. That was pretty good. So let's turn this guy on. And do we have windrow? Disable straw swath, so we're going to get straw. That's good. One more thing to sell. We are farmers, right? Can't say you're a farmer until you actually bring in some crops or sell some animals or whatever. And compared to the old map where we just struggled, so I didn't feel too bad about all these fields ready to go. I know I've done it before, like zeroed out all those crops that are in the barn, in the silos, but that'll just be, in the grand scheme of things, won't be that big a deal, right? And then when we go to redo these fields, I sort of want to maximize out. I don't want those big, huge grass headers. I can appreciate them for one reason, but I think it's very unrealistic. So when we go to plow, like up here ahead, we'll take that up closer to where that entrance is there. Is that a little dirt road maybe? It's a little dirt road. All right, there's no reason we can't put another 30 feet of crops right there. Just keep heading out until we run out of windrow. And one thing I wanted to mention, there's a guy I've watched, I forget, he's a corn farmer someplace in the United States. And I was watching him, one of his videos about, I don't know, whether this crop yielded more than that crop. And he was doing the same thing, by the way. They were doing like a very scientific test with his, they calibrated the weight system inside of his harvester. And pretty cool to watch. And because like the readout in the harvester would tell him how much per, I don't know, 10 feet. I don't know how far it went as far as, so like he could get a reading as to like the crop thing, and then they had different crops that they had planted in different fields, and it was some deal he made with some seed company. But he was doing every other row as well, like for I guess this kind of reason, that it's just easier to turn in and do these rows like this. So this is not unheard of in today's day. I guess in the old days you wouldn't do this because it was really probably too hard to judge the distance there, right? So we'll just leave this windrow, go straight. Yeah, see all that distance there, or at least a good. Now the other thing we could talk about though, before I go doing too much, is let's back up a little bit, get a bit straighter. The other thing we could talk about is, do we want to put anything there? I don't really know. I mean, this map's already got a lot of placeables, and there's nothing I can think of. Like some maps, you'd have to build buy and build your own, sheep or whatever else it is. I don't really see that we would need too much to get, at least not to get going on this map. One thing I would like to point out that I did, and I looked at before I actually made this turn, that I didn't want to interrupt myself like I normally do, is we're getting less than a third per row of this harvester full. So we're still only at 77. So as we get up to this end here, I'm not going to do another row, or else we would just have to back the thing up anyway, right? Now we could go do a different row. Maybe that's what we'll do. Let's go redo that first. Well, no, we'll just pull out here and we'll hit 0 or O to get our pipe out. See how we didn't fill it up completely? I did look at that. And what I'll do is as we get up here, do this number. There we go. Leave this guy right here for a minute. Let's just jump over. This is our smaller tractor that we had at the last place. And we're going to need this tipper. So I did sell like a tractor trailer that they had, so we certainly have some incentive to get this equipment upgraded. This will be, but then we have a silo now, right? So we should be in good shape. I mean, I think in some ways this is going to be a lot easier than what we last did. I think I'll go over this way. We can go up this route. We do have crop destruction on, and we don't have a narrow. This tractor, I did look when I rebought it, doesn't have a narrow function. Like it doesn't have narrow tires, which means that it will always do crop destruction. All right, so let's do N. Go. Put it right about in the middle. Nice. Now, another piece of advice, if you're using this new guidance steering, in the old game, I think it might have been the same way with the old GPS mod. Either way, like, you really kind of want to get a field done before you close the game and reopen it, because otherwise your GPS will be off. Now, you know what I want to do? Now that I think about it, let's do Control S. Come over here, and I am going to add it, right? Save it. I think that saved it. We'll hope so. All right, so we can fold our pipe up and get back to work. Now we should be able to do another 3 rows, right? At least in theory. Straighten her out a little bit more. I guess we should turn it on. Would probably be a good idea. All right, well, there we go. So rather than bore you guys to tears, and I know there's some people that do like to see all the action, but I am going to go ahead and, you know, over the next couple days in real life, probably I've got a few things I need to do today and like work, and this is early in the morning, so I will, you know, get this done and get these 4 fields harvested kind of ASAP. If something exciting happens, I will definitely, you know, stop and start recording again. But it's probably just going to be, you know, more or less a lot more of this. And I think you guys can, if you really want to see all of this, I'm not sure what to say, but there you go. So we'll get this harvested, and then we'll come back and we'll start talking about what we're going to plant, and you know, I'll probably do my little plowing routine that you guys have seen in the last episodes, unless you're watching just this one. No particular reason, in case you are just found this one as episode 1 of the new map. No real reason you'd want to go back, other than you want to watch all of my videos. But no, you're not going to miss anything if you don't go back and watch the other ones. Yeah, so this shouldn't take too long. All right, guys, I'll see you when the fields are harvested. All right, we got all the crops off the field. Let me spin around. So we got some windrow to get off there now, but then everything's harvested. So if we come back in here and look, and we look at this, and Let's see, how are we doing? So good. We still don't need to be plowed, which is good. That means we can hold off a little bit on the plowing. And then as far as growth goes, we're back to harvested. So we'll have to get out there and plant something. And I was just looking at what we have. And I know it threw me off. I actually had to go back and look at the video to make sure. Everything is around 13 to 15,000 as far as the quantities we had here. Except for this one was like 26,000. So, but in any event, not to throw too many numbers at you at once. We got about 34,000 wheat. We got about 35,000 barley. And those two fields are about the same size. And then when it came to the canola here, we got around 20, maybe 21,000. So even though the field was the same size, this is what I'm saying. When you look at this price, you got to remember that you get a lot more wheat or barley, or oats is usually the same, similar to these. And then the soybeans, we got about 30,000, which is, well, we got whatever's in the trailer here. I haven't emptied it yet. Oh, no, that's not true. Is it true? You know what? We only got 20,000. So we got about the same amount of soybeans as we did canola. Because I haven't dropped any off yet. So in any event, so that's what we're facing. I thought maybe we'd get some oats. I think oats are good if we decide to get some horses. And other than that, I usually just tend to build up my farms, you know, kind of doing the regular crops. If we go back to looking at this or this, you know, as far as the fruit types that we can do, we could do sunflowers if we can plant them, and maybe we will, just for the sake of saying we did them. And then we could do oats, no problem. Corn we can't do because we don't have a planter, and I'm not sure if we can plant sunflowers either. I'm kind of forgetting right this exact second. We could probably do sugar beets and potatoes, but we don't have the harvester. Oilseed radish is just for fertilizing. I never get into that. And we don't really have the equipment for sugar cane. So we'll probably do some oats. And let's see, can we even plant, if we can plant sunflowers, I know we can harvest them. Let's go to the garage. And I'm just sort of forgetting. I'm thinking, oh, no. Sell that. No, we can't plant sunflowers. Same as planting corn. Yeah, so amongst the things we can plant, it's really these 5. So oats, yeah, I don't know. I think I'll just get out there and kind of almost randomly plant them. But we'll definitely get some oats in the ground. Maybe like 2 fields of oats. And we already got a fair amount of wheat. And we'll do like maybe 2 fields of another one. Or I don't know, split it up. It's not that big a deal. We want to park this thing, don't we? Let's go find our windrow picker-upper. Where did I put that thing? Did I buy it? I might not have picked up I might not have bought a windrow picker-upper. Let's go look in the garage. No. Well, that's all right, because we have all these extra crops, so I'll feel a little bit less. I really meant to come over with the same amount of money, but I forgot about having those extra crops. So what we'll do for now, we'll just go into a little bit of debt and get a windrow picker-upper. All right, so let's go back to here. I guess we should go pick out what we want first. Just so we know how much it costs, right? So we don't want that. We want this. Loading wagon. You know, it's awful nice to get a bigger one. Right? And the bigger one will cost us 80 grand. Yeah, we're already 60 grand in the hole. All right, So we got 82 grand. Let's get a little bit extra. And then I do want to figure out something. Income and expenditures. We did get some income. Not those sold vehicles. We got property income. I don't know what that is specifically. I mean, is it like a windmill or something? That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. Something's making us a couple bucks anyway, which is good. All right, so let's get this Bergman. Seems reasonable to me. You know what? Let me check something. No, I don't have any mods. Yeah, they all hold the same thing. All right, so let's buy it. We can only get green. Not that we would want something else, but... All right, let's take a little run. A run that I've made, like, a number of times already. Just so you guys can see a little bit more of the map. You know, it's well, like I said, the Stevie's maps that I've played before, you know, they all look nice. They're probably not the nicest map like that you've ever seen, but like I said, the attention to details is where the guy really scores with me. Like, things just tend to work, and they're pretty well done. And you know, like I think you guys know from here in the last few episodes, if nothing else, I don't like those huge grass headers. But it's understandable if you're doing course play and those kind of things, or hiring workers. It's certainly pretty aggravating to have workers in the trees all the time. But usually I find you can do headlands at that point. So when it comes to our fields that now need to be done, there we go. When it comes to our fields that now need to be done, sorry, I was trying to get it into cruise control and I don't know what I did. But I want to wait until they need to be plowed, and then we'll expand them out, because I got enough things to do in real life, and it will take quite a while. And I'd like to just all have it be plowed in one grand, you know, thing. If I was really farming, I don't know. There's a lot to get into in this map, and it's just a matter of time. This game is time consuming, that's for sure. You can certainly spend the hours in it. Now, I got a comment from Mike Gannon, and he was asking me why I was plowing, or I didn't. He asked me why I would use GPS when you have the coordinates down the bottom, and he was calling it a compass, but I guess it's really more the coordinates I think he was referring to. We need to put away our. Let's go put that away real quick. And so what you could do is you can hold nice straight lines by just holding your coordinate and running in a straight line down there, like the coordinate on the map. Let's do this. I'm going to fold this guy up. Sorry, I will get back to my subject, I promise. I'm going to hit G. Oops. All right, and then we're going to... Oops. Lower that guy down, right? And then hit Q. So you can definitely do that. I'm not sure if he was asking me, like he was saying, why use the GPS when, you know, you could just use the coordinates down there. And like for me, the GPS is, yeah, if the only thing I ever used the GPS for was plowing out those fields, then yeah, I don't think it would necessarily be worth it. But I mean, as you can kind of see, I use it for everything. And one of the reasons, there's just a lot of reasons, but one of them is you're going to see now we can kind of duplicate that course. I want to repair this guy before I try to see if we can get both of them in there. Oops. All right, now by the way, I have this mod. Look, it lets me switch between the two. So we can repair this one. And then we can switch over, repair this one. We don't have to do that big goofy getting out thing that you have to do with some things. I think I'd like to, you know, we still have the John Deere. We still have the John Deere. Let me sell that. That'll make up for a little bit of our, little tiny bit of our money that we just borrowed. That's all right. I'm okay with being in that debt because by the time we sell off some of those crops, that's, I'm not sure if it'll even out, but it'll. Just put this guy here. Keep this guy fairly close to the header. I need to find if we already have a washer. If not, we'll go get one. All right, now we jump back over to this tractor. Now, I wrote down the number, but let's go into, let's see, let's put on F1 just so I can see for a second. Right, and then if we do auto width, it would be way off, right? But what I can do is come here and say, I want to go to 29.53. Oops. All right, can't quite get there, but pretty darn close, right? So now, when we turn this on, and then we want to do north-south if we're not already, though I think we are. I hope we are. All right, so let's come back out here and see what. All right, let's come back. So this guy doesn't. Yeah, so he won't load. So I have to do the same course for him. Interesting. All right, so let's do Alt E. Now I should be able to load the course. We'll see. We're right on the 180 mark, so we'll be fine as long as we don't get bumped off too much. So you're getting bumped off by the windrow. Oh, come on, buddy. All right. I don't think we necessarily corrected. Did I go far enough? Yeah. All right, and then we can do Control S and then set this to 0. Oh, no. Let's set that to 0. All right, so there we are. So now, if I come over here, and we're pretty close to on that line. I could even adjust it a little bit more, right? All right, so we're right on that line. So now, we could even use that. Now, again, I know you don't need to do that, but it's, you know, it's nice, right? So let's lower that, turn it on, start picking up some windrow. But yeah, as I answered Mike's question in the comment from episode 3, so I've already done episode 4 because I've mentioned before I'm going away for this weekend, so I want to get these episodes a little bit ahead, especially because I won't be able to make next week's episode. So you see, like when my real life happens, it really can mess you up. Like I spend a lot of time making these videos, and if I take 48 hours to go away, it's one of those you have to work 3 times as much. But in any event, yeah, I think he was talking more about the plowing, and if it was just simply a matter of the plowing, then I don't necessarily think I would worry about the GPS. And really, if there was one thing that I really like the GPS for more than anything else, it's the spraying when you already have crops in the field and you can't see the area that you've even sprayed. This makes it far easier to gather up all of that stuff, like to get the whole area spread, like this is just pure laziness to set this up. But I also wanted to save this course for this tractor because it didn't seem to be saving it or loading it. So here, as a matter of fact, let's just do Control S. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit save. So in other words, now I can get this, and then if you're doing windrow, it's another time that this comes in, pretty nice at the same time. And again, is it cheaty? I guess. I don't know that too many farmers would actually use the GPS for this, but keeps you from having to focus, and your mind, like, to me, it's just mind-numbing to sit there and stare at a tractor, especially if you're like plowing. You know, plowing becomes so much easier because it's like 7 miles per hour, and then it's, you know, then it's all on top of that, it's just like usually very short distances. You know, it's not, I mean, you're not really going that far at that point. So, like with each row, like there's 1,000 rows on a field this size, it feels like, this side it's not too bad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, plowing can get mighty boring. Now we need to find a place to drop this stuff off. I'm wondering. Yep, there we go. Right button Y. Let's see. Let's hit escape real quick. Come over to here. Oops, I keep doing that. All right, so this is the straw right here, isn't it? I think that's the symbol we just had. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like anything. Did we just sell it? Oh, this is a sell point. Which doesn't necessarily break my heart. Let's go see, because I don't think we didn't have 17,000, right? We can come back to here and just sort of confirm. Leasing costs. What do we have? What are we leasing? Really? All right, we're going to check that out in a minute too. Yeah, where do we get 17,000? I'm going to pay more attention. But that didn't seem to go into storage. I'm pretty sure that's a sales point. And I don't necessarily have a problem selling this stuff, but you can kind of tell it wasn't quite the plan, right? So B. Well, it doesn't. No, it looks like it would be a storage. Did I not have the right symbol? Yeah, but our storage here isn't reflecting that. Is there another? No. We'll go look around in a half a second here. Won't take us too long to fill up. I think I'm going to call it an end to the episode after we gather up some more of this stuff. Another benefit to the GPS is, like, in this case, again, you don't really need it, but look what I was just doing, checking things out, and, you know, I kind of like that, is to be able to skip rows while you're doing things, too. And again, I think Mike was more referring to why was I doing that when I was plowing. And I think it's one of those, you get used to using the GPS as a tool to make straight lines, and so you do, right? Like, it's not necessarily a matter of need at that point. It's more a matter of just that's what you do type thing. There you go. So let's go see. We have a few. We really don't think we're going to be able to put it in a regular silo. But what is back over in that corner? Probably even look at the map before we go too far. Let's stop and look at the map real quick. Yeah, now that is a sale point, isn't it? The yellow ones are the sale points. So we just sold it. I don't know why it didn't show up more clearly on that screen. Let's go see. Let's go see back in this corner what we have. And I don't think we can turn this into. Yeah, see, this is another... Yeah, that's a sell point there. What is the other over here? Okay, that's that's not storage of stuff, right? That's sales of, like, I'm pretty sure seeds and stuff. And then this is going to be like for, yeah, I guess we don't have necessarily. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to do something with straw, I don't think we can. I mean, straw is good to have, but I don't think we necessarily have a storage. Let's see. Though it did sort of seem like we would have a storage. Maybe this thing can store it. Or maybe it's someplace else on the map. Let's just see what happens. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Well, I want to store some because that's good for TMR in the future. All right, here we go. Yep, there we go. So we can hold quite a bit. Good Lord, look at that. What is that number? That number, 16 million. Okay. Well, there you go. So I'm going to get the rest of this stuff off of the field. And, you know, this will be the end of the episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And let me know if you have any suggestions for this map or if you're familiar with it. Any advice. And in the meantime, I will get to it. So thank you guys. Thank you for all your likes and subscriptions and comments. I definitely appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.